Yuliana is an English teacher and teacher trainer who has worked with students and teachers with diverse backgrounds and varying degrees of ability for more than 10 years. She is committed and passionate about her job, and she strives to teach, motivate, and guide her students by encouraging a positive and dynamic environment in her classroom. Currently, she works as an English trainer for Mentari Teachers Academy and Cambridge English Speaking Examiner. In her roles, she has created lesson plans and delivered training to teachers and schools across Indonesia. Her interests include designing creative, interactive, and engaging activities to spark the students' love of the learning process with the hope that they can learn to use English more fluently and confidently.
Educators, please welcome Miss Yuliana Dewi.
Thank you, Miranda. What I'm going to talk about today is more about creative teaching and also using the technology in the classroom. Something that might not, something that is not very new, something that is not old. So kind of like in between. So the concepts about creative teaching, about incorporating technology into the classroom have already been stated years ago, right? But maybe we have never applied them, you know, in the classroom. So kind of like we have never seen them. So I'm going to share the practices that I usually do in my classroom. And then later we are also going to discuss together kind of like, why do you think I'm doing that way? So every activity that I do, every activity that I design has a purpose. And the purpose will be different depending on the types of the students that I have. Sometimes we have kind of like, you know, the students who are quite reserved. Sometimes you have a very active students. Sometimes you have a kinesthetic students, or maybe that has a very good linguistic capability students. Sometimes you have students who are shy, right? So that way we are going to use our creativity to create an activity that will enable everybody to participate later on. Do not think creativity is something that is complicated later. You're gonna see that all of my activities are very simple, very receh, you know. So creativity doesn't mean that you're gonna go into complication. So creativity means that you are going simple, awesomely simple. What I want to share with you is that never forget, creativity is intelligence having fun. Jadi kita harus berpikir juga ketika mau bikin kegiatan gitu ya. So let your mind having fun with all of the materials that you have. And then also I'm going to have some online apps to be used. So kind of like that's, all of them are quite easy. So they are not they're not something that is hard to follow, that is hard to make. And I usually also use all of these online apps when I'm teaching. Okay. And then, so today because we are talking about creativity, right? So we're gonna understand how to develop creative teaching activities. That's the first. And then we're gonna see how the activities in the textbook is integrated with the online app. And then we're gonna practice them together. Okay, talking about creative teaching, yep. So this time we are going to use Slido after this. In Slido, there will be questions. So the question is only write down one word associated with creative teaching. So what do you have in your mind when you hear the word creativity? What do you have in your mind when you hear the phrase creative teaching? Yeah, so we're gonna go into Slido, everyone. So just prepare your gadget if you are using, your cell phone. So you can just go into your web browser and then you're gonna go in, you're gonna click the link that I'm going to share to you. So I'm gonna start the poll. So for example, if you can do it, okay, so that's fine. Write a word or a phrase related to creativity. So you can enter more than one answer, okay. So I'm gonna start sharing, okay? So I'm gonna ask you the question again. So related with art, okay? So you're saying that creativity is always, yeah, an art of teaching, that's also creativity, okay? Right, okay, so good job, everyone. So creativity means transforming your ideas, your dreams, your imaginations into reality. What do you want your class to be? You make it into reality. That's creativity. Yeah. And then creativity is also related to being able to see the hidden patterns, making connection between things that aren't normally related and come up with the new ideas. That's creativity. It's not always about art. It could be about the language. It could be about mathematics. It could be about physics. It could be about chemistry. Yeah, so it's kind of like very broad. Okay, so in order to be, to build a creativity in the classroom, first of all, you need to build the dynamics of the activities. Okay, by the dynamic means you're going to provide a variety of activities. So now, for example, Miss Susanti. Yeah, okay, Miss Susanti. So in your classroom, what kind of activities do you usually provide to your students?
Activities sometimes like sing a song, and then the other crossword, doing the crossword. That's okay.
What else?
Sometimes like make a puzzle, and then finding a word. That's all.
That's all. Okay, so that's already the dynamics of the activities, you know. So you provide a varieties of the activities that will cater for the differences for your students, yeah. And later when you decide your activities, think again, will you like it? If you are the students, so put yourself into your students' shoes. Do you like it? If you feel bored about it, your students must be more bored about it too. Yeah. And then this is like what I said earlier. Do not complicate the activities in order to look sophisticated. Jadi jangan membuat kegiatan itu menjadi susah supaya kelihatan wow. Apa yang kreatif, apa yang bagus tidak selalu wow. Apa yang wow belum tentu bagus. Gitu kan? So start with something simple but make it attractive. Yeah. Why? Because you want everyone to participate, right? You do not want only the strong students to participate. You want that the weak students also able to participate in the classroom. So how to get them participate? If you complicate the activities, if you complicate the sentences, they will not follow it. See? And then later, you also need to know your students' characteristic and interest too. Why? Because you're going to need them to relate the materials with the student's background and the current conditions. You know, the textbook are produced for the mass productions. Yeah. And then some of them are not made in Indonesia, right? Some of them are made in, in foreign countries. Maybe you're going to find out some situations, some contexts are not available in Indonesia. So the simplest one is the vacation activities. Coba Miss Juliani. So Miss Juliani, if you ask your students, what do you do in your holiday? What will they answer? What is it?
Holiday. They will say holiday, miss.
See, holiday, miss. Nothing, miss. See, yeah. So that's kind of like the differences about you know, the culture, the traditions. Usually kind of like people in the Western societies, they're gonna do something when they are on holiday. You know, hiking, kayaking, swimming, or going somewhere. But with the Indonesian, when we are having a holiday, what do you do on holiday? Holiday, miss. Sleep, miss. Nothing, right? So kind of like something that is different, you know. So you need to bridge the differences later, yeah? Okay, so you're gonna see later on, okay? So now, how to be creative in teaching? So first of all, be open to the new ideas, okay? Not all ideas are good, but be open to new ideas is always good, right? Okay, so get out of your comfort zone. And then later when you are, applying the creative teaching, you're gonna use different instructions. Usually the teachers just use kind of like Okay, so open your book. I want you to do the exercise. Okay, now you are going to do puzzle. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to solve it. Okay, now if you have done, we're going to discuss it, kind of like that. So creative teaching will not do that way. Yeah. So it's kind of like you really going to get out of your comfort zone and you're going to do something else. Okay. And because you browse a lot of sources in the internet, in the textbook, just explore all possibilities. Okay, try it out. If it fails, then it's going to be your lesson, why it fails. If it is successful, then you know, oh, okay, so what kind of activities that will suit your students later. Yeah. And then look for ideas everywhere. So looking for ideas everywhere means kind of like, look at your table. So what is available over there? Use them. What is available around the student's house? Use them. Okay. So know your students. They are your sources of inspirations too. You know, kind of like if you know your students' interest, for example, you can build the materials that will be based on the interest, and they're going to be more interested in joining your lesson. And one thing that can engage them is that you can integrate the technology into the classroom. So just like what I did using Slido. Okay. So why do we integrate the technology into the classroom then? That's my question. What is the benefit of integrating the technology into the classroom activity?
Yeah, of course, there's a lot of benefits from integrating technology in our lesson, especially when our students nowadays are the newest generation where they are very they are able to use various of technology, so they probably use it a lot in their society or in their lifestyle. So when we can manage to match their ability in using technology, so we can know what is happening and what is actually happening in our students' life. So we can integrate our lesson to what is actually happening with them, because we are an older generation. So sometimes our activities have different than what our students have nowadays.
Okay, right. Thank you, Stephanie. So you understand your students. That's a good start, you know, really a good start. Now, so actually the benefit, one benefit is that it creates engagement. So the technology itself will create engagement. How? When we present when we present our material sophisticatedly, the student will be more interested in joining the lesson, right? When we put pictures, for example, or maybe when we use the annotation, for example, or when we are using the online apps, for example, the students are more curious to try it out. Yeah, so you create the curiosity, so that's why you're going to engage them into the learning activities itself. And later, you also help your students to learn at their own pace. If you are using the online apps, for example, like Nearpod quizzes, you can just assign it as a homework, right? So that they can do the activities at home at their own pace. And improve collaborations too. So if you are giving assignments to your students, kind of like using, because we are now using the technology, they will also use the technology itself to collaborate one another. Maybe they're going to meet via Zoom, maybe they're going to meet via the video call, and then maybe they're going to meet via, making up the video together, kind of like improving the collaboration because they talk in the same language. And also using the technology will prepare your students for the future. This is kind of like one of the skills that most of us need for the 21st century education, for the 21st century life skills, digital literacy. Okay, so using Zoom is also one way of being, digitally literate. You can use Zoom. Well, you are already literate. Okay, you can add more. You are then more digitally literate. Okay, and then who knows, like, in the because our students were born in the time that is very, very different from ours, right? When we were born, there were no YouTube, right? There were no Maybe there were no colored televisions if you are already 50 or 60 years old now. There were no cell phones, you know, there were no iPads, there were no tabs. But now, when the students were born, they were already surrounded with those technology. So that's why they are more technologically savvy than us, actually. It's easy for them to learn, but it's hard for you and it's hard for me to adjust. So the problem is not in the students, the problem will be in us, the teachers. Are you willing to spend your time to learn something new? Because life goes on. Will you take the right? Will you stay behind? So that's your choice, okay? And then technology will also allow you to connect with your students. If you are a technologically literate, then you're gonna know the current events, right? Okay, so you're gonna know what is happening outside the classroom, outside your house, what is happening in the world, especially in the world of the primary, in the world of the teenagers, you know. It can make you connect with your students. Like, for example, now we have kind of like the Korean pop culture, you know. So most of your students, I believe, especially if they are in the secondary level, they're quite familiar with that, right? So use that to, you can connect with your students very easily. You can engage them more, okay? Right, so now I'm gonna share again, okay? So this time, this is kind of like the details that you can later see in your handout, yeah? So now I know that when applying this kind of teaching, it's gonna be a little bit hard, but anyway, just start it, right? So just take the risk, yeah? Just take the risk, okay? Try something new. You might fail, you might succeed. If you fail, learn from your mistake. If you are successful, then you know what works for your student best. You never really know how effective a tool or an approach will be until you tried it. And then if you are using the technology, just believe me, the technology itself will also encourage the critical thinking. Teach them how to use the technology in a wise way. So now we're gonna practice, okay? We're gonna do it. And in this activity, we are going to play as a students and teachers, okay? Ada yang mau ikut berpartisipasi kah jadi murid saya? So I'm just going to present you how to teach the primary to grade 2. So I'm gonna take the sample from family and friends. They are happy now talking about feelings and emotions, okay? So, and then the grammar will be about to be. So basically, this is only the samples, okay? So all of the activities that I'm going to show you can be adjusted into all levels, right? All of the samples, because I cannot show all of the books, so I take only from family and friends 2, and then later we're gonna go into level 5. So I represent kind of like the lower level and the higher level, but in whatever level, you try it, okay? Even if you are in the secondary, maybe you can learn one thing or two that you can apply in your class, yeah? So the first point that I want to present is how to present vocabulary in an interesting way, okay? So this is kind of like the vocabulary that we are going to use later. We are going to talk about feelings: hot, cold, hungry, thirsty, happy, and sad. Okay, so ready, yeah, everyone, yeah? So good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Miss.
Right, so everyone, if Miss Yuli asks you the question, how are you? You can say, I'm fine. Number 1, okay? But Miss Yuli also has another answer. I'm good. That's number 2. Okay, you can also say, I'm great. That's number 3. All right. And you can also say, I'm wonderful. So therefore, okay. Now, Miss Julie will ask you the question. Look at my fingers, okay. How are you?
I'm fine.
How are you?
I'm good.
How are you?
I'm great.
I'm great.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
I'm wonderful.
So look at my finger. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. How are you?
I'm
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm fine.
How are you?
I'm great.
I'm great.
How are you?
I'm
good.
good.
I'm good.
I'm
How
fine.
are you?
I'm wonderful.
Okay, yes, all right. So good job, everybody. Okay, right. So that's one way that you can do with your students. Otherwise, they're gonna say, "I'm fine, thank you," and you their whole life. Because I'm teaching up to adults. When I'm asking adults, the answer is also the same. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? Sejak kelas 1 SD, ya. Right. So now, everyone, do you know WhatsApp? Who can use WhatsApp over here? Ada yang bisa pakai WhatsApp?
Emoticon.
Okay, so you know the emoticon, yeah? So we also say that as emoji, okay? So emoji is, what is that, the word from Japanese, so we take it into English. What is it?
Hot.
Very good, okay.
Angry. Thirsty.
Very good, everyone. What about this one?
Sad.
Okay, so now we're gonna do kind of like, this is also kind of like the one that you can do with your students. So you're gonna have your students to guess, how do I feel? So for example, so I have 2 pictures over here. Miss Yuli will do one of them, and then I want you to type in your chat box which emotion is Miss Yuli doing. Okay, so you have to type the answers in the chat box. Yeah. So everyone, how will you answer it? Everyone, how you will answer it?
In the chat box.
In the chat box.
In chat box.
Chat box.
Chat box. All right. Ready? Yeah. So now take a look at me. All right, Miss Dima. Okay, very good, everyone. Okay, very good. All right, so very cepat ya kalau anak sekarang disuruh nulis ya. All right, okay. So now the second one, okay? Look at me. Look at me. All right, okay, very good, cool. All right, very good. All right, very good, everyone. Okay. So now, why do I ask the students to write this time? Why do you think?
To check the spelling?
Check the spelling? Yeah, that's correct. So because what you say and what you write is different, right? So you're gonna need to check their spelling because they have spoken, now they will write, kind of like that. So that's the dynamic of the activities. Okay, right. So I'm gonna continue. Yeah. Now into the grammar. The grammar. Okay. So this is usually my practice in teaching grammar. Right, everyone. So this is kind of like actually we are going to use we're, there, you are, we are happy, they're hungry because we are learning about emotion. Yeah. Miss Yuli will show you a picture. Okay. And then Miss Yuli will show you how do we say it. Yeah. Okay. So everyone, so what is it?
Cool.
Cool.
So you can say,
Cool.
I am cool.
I'm cool. Yes.
But your friend do not believe that you feel cold. And then he asks, are you hot? Are you hot?
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
If you want to have an exercise with yes, no questions, you can do yes, no, stand up. So what you are going to do in yes, no, stand up is that you will listen to me saying the questions. So I'm going to ask you the question, how are you feeling? And if it is a yes, stand up and hands in the air, okay? If it is a no, sit down and cross your arms, yeah? All right, Miss Julie will ask you the question. Are you all happy? Are you happy? Yeah. Evelyn, are you not happy, Evelyn? Okay, right. Are you hungry, everyone? Are you hungry? Oh, Rachel, you are hungry. Okay, right. Rachel, you are hungry. Okay. Are you thirsty? Are you thirsty? Oh, Susanti, you are not thirsty. Okay, right. So are you sad? No. Okay, so are you angry? Are you angry? No, too. Okay, so are you, what else? So are you very sad? Okay, right. So are you now Happy? Okay, I really like it. So the students like this activity. Yes, no, stand up, right? Now, we are going to try to use Nearpod, yeah? With the second graders, no worries. My nephew is the first graders and he can use Nearpod, okay? Right, yang perlu belajar kita gurunya, mereka pasti bisa gitu ya. In Nearpod, you are going to match the pictures and what is that, the emotion. Match it, yeah. So sorry, you are going to match the subject and to be actually. So in Nearpod later, you're gonna see kind of like this display. So you're gonna have he, she, or our, or my house. Then you have to find out the what is that, the maths, you know. But because there are a lot of is over here, you just need to click one word and then you have to find out which to be it will go. So for example, he with is. But because there are so many is, it is possible that the other is for my house. Maybe the other is for your teacher. Yeah. If the answer is wrong, I mean like if it is not a math, you will find that the color will be red. If it is the maths, then you will find that the color will be blue. Okay, that's simple. And then when you are going to do Nearpod, you just need to go into nearpod.com and then just go, what is that? You're going to join using the joining codes and then use your name, join the session, only that, okay? So I'm going to stop sharing. Right, so I'm going to go into my Nearpod. Wait. So your name will be there. Okay, so this is your display as a student, and then this is my display as a teacher. So we're gonna have, what is that, 3 exercises using Nearpod, yeah? So first of all, what is that? The first activity that you're gonna do is matching the subject, he, she, it, my father, or maybe the animals with the to be, which one? So you can just click, for example, the cats with us, more than one. So it's gonna go with R, for example. Oh no, it's red. So maybe this is not the R for the cats. So we're gonna find again. Oh no, so red again. So we try again. Oh, this is the mess. Kind of like that, okay? So with Nearpod, you can just switch between the teacher display or maybe the student display, just to explain to them how to do it. If they don't understand, you can just open the instructions because you have written the instructions over there, match the subject and be. So the next activity that you will do is that, okay, you will choose the best answer. Okay, you will choose the best answer. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. Blah, 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 quote. Look at the boy. Okay, look at the boy. Is it they are, I am, or we are? Which one? So just click on the answer. So for example, this one. Then you can click next for this question number 2. Okay. Look at the picture again. Right, so I'm gonna see. Okay. Okay, so Miss Duma, you're very fast. All right, okay. So this is actually, what is that? The pictures that I took from the workbook. So I just put it into the Nearpod because you can upload pictures over there. And then later you can also see how many times they make the correct answers, they make the correct tries. And the good thing about Nearpod is that you can see the reports and you can also download the reports. Okay, so I'm gonna go next, okay? So the last activity, right? So, okay, very good. So this time we are going to try into what we call as the whiteboard. So wait. So also, if you want your students to write down something, you can just open the whiteboard. Yeah. Oh, this one. So the last one, everyone. You're gonna write the correct answers. I'm gonna write down the questions. Okay. So what you need to do, you can use the words below. There, they, where, there, are, aren't. Okay. So for example, okay. So blah blah blah. My friends. So I post the questions and then I want you to, write down the answers there. Very good. Okay. Very good, Miss Medis. All right. Okay. Very good, Miss Duma. Now you can see the other friend's answer. Yeah. Okay. See. So you can see the summary, kind of like And then you can also see the details, okay? So whether they are, 100% successful or not, kind of like that. In quiz, in matching pairs, in collaboration, kind of like that, the summary. So you can also print it out and then you can just download it too, or you can also share it, kind of like that. So kind of like practical to use instead of you using the Google Forms all the time. Okay, so you can also use this one. This one is free. Yeah, this one is free. Right, now we're gonna go into phonics. Okay. With the phonics, I'm not going to teach the phonics, but I'm going to show the activities that you can do with the phonics. Yeah. So here are the phonics that are available in the books. The sound of ch, sh, and s. Okay, ch, sh, s, like in chair, teacher, shoes, fish, some, bath. Right. And then you also have the chant over there. So we are going to use them as the activity. Okay. Right. So first of all, what we can do after we teach them the sound, kind of like chair, for example, you can also use the type chair, C-H-A-I-R, chair. You can also do that if you want to teach the phonics with them, right? So now we're gonna go into the chant, okay? Usually you can just ask them to clap, or if you think like your students really like noise, you can ask them to tap the table, yeah? Okay. Everyone, can you tap the table for me? Tap, tap, tap. All right, so I want to hear the sound of your table tap, tapping the table. Okay, right. So now we are going to listen, and then while you are listening, I want you to tap the table, okay? Tap the table, yes? No, we're gonna listen.
Listening 22. Listen and chant.
Ready, everyone? Tap the table.
Look at my teacher, sitting on a chair. Her shoes are blue. She's got long black hair. A picture of a bath and a picture of a fish. Look at my teacher. Her name's Miss Wish.
Once again, okay, everyone? Do you want to tap the table? Do you want to tap your hands? Which one? Which one? Do you want to tap the table or do you want to tap your hands?
Tap the table.
Tap the table. Tap the table. It's not seru, yeah? Okay. You're gonna listen, and this time we will read together, yeah? Miss Yuli want to hear your voice this time, okay? Just follow the audio.
Listening 22. Listen and chant.
Okay. You can move.
Look at my teacher, sitting on a chair. Her shoes are blue. She's got long black hair. Picture of a bath and a picture of a fish. Look at my teacher. Her name's Miss Wish.
Yeah, very good. So we're gonna do it once more. This time without the audio. We're gonna do it ourselves. Ready, everyone?
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Look at my
teacher sitting on a chair. Her shoes are blue.
Black,
Okay.
a picture of a bat and a picture of a fish. Look at my teacher. Her name's Miss Wish.
Yay! Good job, everyone. Right. Okay. So now, you see, all of my activities are very receh, right? Yeah. Right. So very, very receh. So creativity is more than just being fun. It's making the simple awesomely simple. That's creativity. Okay. Right. So now, if you are kind of like creativity is not only one night achievement, right? So you need to learn more. You need to try it out over and over again. So in order to be creative, research, okay, do a lot of research, yeah? And then use the web, okay? So that will be your resources. You will also teach your students to use it wisely as well. So get out of your comfort zone, try something new. Even if you fail, that's your lesson, yeah? Try new things when you find kind of like, oh, this one is work. this one works very well. Try it until you are used to it. So do not just practice only once. Practice it maybe 5 times, 6 times until you can find the best instructions to your students. Yeah. And then embrace the interest of your students. They are your biggest resources. Okay. And then find a mentor or peers to discuss ideas. Be open-minded. Yeah. Some of our ideas might be stale. Some of our ideas might be interesting, but we don't know because the other people will feel it. The other people will experience it, you know? So that's why listen to any feedbacks. Don't be kind of like, don't get offended every time you get criticism. So kind of like, jangan terlalu baper gitu ya. So kind of like, if they don't like it, perhaps because the activity do not suit their personality. It's not your fault. Okay? Tapi bayangkan kalau kita memberikan sebuah kegiatan listening pada anak yang suka ngomong. Apa yang terjadi? Ya? Kita memberikan reading pada anak yang sukanya berbicara. That's different. You give reading to the students who are very kinesthetically active. That's a chaos. All right? So kind of like know your students so that you will know which activity that you will deliver to them.